Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is DVD Collector 1986 here with a new video. This is going to be a really big collection update. Most of these are scary movies, TV shows, some soundtracks, some books, a little bit of everything. So this is going to be a big update. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, a drink, and enjoy. So first we have Wednesday. I enjoyed this show quite a bit. I know they're coming out with season 2 on Blu-ray eventually. Um, the Addams Family animated movie, pretty good. And these are ex-library copies, so I'm going to cover up the name of the library just for privacy. Um, but I'm going to show these in reverse too. Um, Eli Roth's History of Horror Season 3. Then we have um, Season 2. And then we have Season 1. I really enjoy that show. Now we have Garfield's Halloween Adventure. Classic. I watched that for the first time this year, and I really enjoyed that. That's going to become a staple of my um, Halloween rotation every October. I guess I'll show this first. This isn't scary, but The Simpsons. This is the complete 7th season. Now, you might say, why'd you get that? Well, because I'm trying to get the first 20 seasons. I had the first 6, so now I have the first 7. And while I was at it, I also got this The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. This is a really fun watch. That was my cell phone going off. This is a Unsolved Mysteries box set, but this is the one about UFOs. Pretty good. To me, not as good as the one about ghosts, but it's still really good. And then also, if you want something that's a bit of a mixed bag, a little bit of everything, as far as Unsolved Mysteries, pick this up. The Best of Unsolved Mysteries. It has ghost episodes, UFO episodes, mystery episodes. Like I said, it has a little bit of everything in here. And there's some great episodes. The only problem that you might run into, I bought these used off of eBay, but I'm going to put this down here. But the only problem is that most of the, if not all of the Unsolved Mysteries box sets are out of print now, so they might be a little expensive on eBay. But if you wait like I did, eventually you'll find them at a good price, sometimes really cheap, and that's when you get them. So I will go ahead and show the movies next. So that was the TV shows for the most part. And I have some books and soundtrack stuff, but I'm going to show that last. Here's a DVD of Tales of Halloween. It's a anthology. Pretty good. Not as good as Trick or Treat, but it does make a good double feature with it, and I'm happy to have it. This is a really crazy zombie movie called The Sadness. Really crazy, really out there, and some really brutal. It's a really graphic, really bloody show, but it's zombies, and it's more like a rage virus, but they more so than zombies. but the people that are infected in the show or in the movie, uh, unlike other zombie or infected movies, they actually talk and they say really messed up things to people. So, a different kind of zombie movie. Um, Next, I have um, this is the Second Sight 4K release of Ty West's The Innkeepers. This is probably my favorite Ty West film. I hear a lot of people talking badly about that movie. It's too slow. It's not interesting. It's boring. I love that movie. I like the fact that it's a slow burn. I enjoy the characters. It's a ghost story movie about a haunted hotel that is the location where they filmed it. The hotel they filmed it at is actually haunted for real, but the movie is a slow burn. It takes a while to get going. The scares are build up. They're very subtle, and I really enjoy that. Um, but a lot of people didn't like that movie. Well, I'll tell you, that's fine if they don't like it, but they're missing out because I thought the movie was great. So, and then we have some Arrow video releases here. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning on 4K. Um, I like these movies. Here's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake um, on 4K. I really enjoy those remakes. I thought they were good. I still like the original movie, but those are excellent. And the good thing about those Arrow Video 4K releases is that they ported over all the special features from all the previous releases of those movies. So if you are into 4K and you're thinking about getting those, but you're like, well, do they have all the special features from all the previous releases? Yes, they do. So, now this is not a 4K. I just got this on Blu-ray. I could have gotten the 4K, but I love this movie, but not enough to have it on 4K. This Blu-ray is perfectly good for me. It's good enough, and it has a bunch of special features on it, and I really enjoy this movie. And I'm happy with this release. I had the studio, or not studio, the original um, Blu-ray. I guess it was a studio release, bare bones, no extras at all. And this is a Blu-ray, but it has a lot of stuff on it, and that is Creepshow 2. I enjoy the first Creepshow, but I really enjoy the second one as well. And then here's it's a new release, but it's an older movie. I did not have this in my collection at all until now. I actually got this in the mail yesterday. And that would be Miss 45, starring, what's her name? Zoe Lund. Um, it's a pretty brutal movie. But what happens is she can hear and everything, but she can't speak. She's mute. But she's a seamstress who works for a clothing company in New York. And on her way home from work one day, um, something bad happens to her. I'm not going to say what, but you know what I mean. It's one of those. This is one of those revenge type movies, if you know what I mean. Something bad happens to her. After that, she goes home, and unbeknownst to her, because she can't, she can speak. You almost sometimes think that maybe she can't hear. She can hear, but something happens to her bad again when she gets home. A thief has broken into her apartment And exactly what happened to her earlier in the day happens to her again on the same day, only this time in her apartment. And she snaps. She takes the guy out with an iron. And by iron, I mean the kind that you iron your clothes with. And she takes his gun, and the rest is history. Um, it's a revenge movie. Um, and it's not as brutal a movie as you think. It's not explicit. They don't show anything too graphic. This movie came out in '81, so it's not that bad. But it's really entertaining because once you get past what happens to her, the rest of the movie, which is the majority of the film, is her going on a revenge thing, and she she basically vows that this is never going to happen to her again, and and like I said, the movie's not um, one of those, oh man, it's like where you just can't watch it. No, it's the way it's done. It's a movie that you can watch because it's not too graphic, and it focuses more on the revenge part of the story. And if anything, um, I would say this movie is like, if you guys have seen the Death Wish movies with Charles Bronson, this is basically that, but it's like the female version of a Death Wish movie. And it's like an action movie at certain points. It's actually really good. And I would highly recommend anybody to give this movie a chance. It's actually really entertaining, and like I said, most of the movie is the revenge part, but the movie does have horror elements. So anyway, I thought the movie was pretty good, and um, let's see, and then it has a bunch of special features, but these Arrow video releases now come with these little cardboard slipcovers, and then you have a hard box, and there's your movie, and then there's like a booklet and some other things. Now, this movie was pretty good, like I said. Definitely worth a watch. And as far as action and revenge movies are concerned, from what I understand, that movie is pretty popular. Um, and rest in peace, Zoe Lund. She's no longer with us. I think she died. I think I want to say it was 2019. But anyway, she's no longer with us. So God rest her soul. Um, oh yeah, we'll get to that last. Um, Also, I have um, the steelbook of the Night of the Living Dead 1990 4K release. This is really hard to get your hands on. I almost wasn't able to get it. Uh, I did pay a little extra for it on eBay, but this is one of my favorite remakes. This is one of those movies I had to have it in my collection. And shame on Sony for only putting this out as a steelbook. Sony knows what they're doing, guys. By the way, this movie looked great on 4K, and it's loaded with special features. This is a studio release by Sony, but there's so much special features on here that it feels like a boutique release, like something that Shout Factory or Arrow Video might do. But this movie looked great, and the special features were awesome. But I just wanted to say real quick, Sony knows what they're doing, guys. They know that they're like that movie's got a lot of fans, and so do a lot of other movies. They put them out in a very small amount of steelbooks, make them limited so they can jack the price up, and they know that the fans will pay for these releases, and they only put out a small amount of them, and they're doing this to get more money from us, guys. And Sony needs to stop doing that. They just do. But however, in the case of that movie, that's one of my favorites. That's the only reason why I paid extra for it, because I love that movie. But if it was any other movie, I would have said, I'll stick with my Blu-ray that I already have. Um, but I also got um, uh, this is a Dario Argento movie. These were put out by Severin. Yeah, these are not. You can get 4K releases of these as well, but I went ahead and got the Blu-ray versions, and they look really good. We have Dario Argento's The Church, scary little movie, and then we have Cemetery Man, also a Blu-ray. Um, that's a really good movie as well. And then let's see. Okay, and this is a Shout Factory Blu-ray, but there's a 4K version that came out. I forget what boutique label put it out, but I didn't have this movie in my collection, and I enjoyed it, but I'm real picky nowadays about what I upgrade to 4K and what I don't. And for me, this Blu-ray was perfect. I have no desire to get the 4K of this movie. This is good enough. And that would be this is a movie with Chris Sarandon, who was in Fright Night and also the first Child's Play movie, and that is The Resurrected. And this actually has a lot of special features. This is back from the good old days of early Shout Factory when they would put out these really good Blu-rays that were loaded with extra features. This is a good movie, and if you've already seen this movie and you like it and you want the 4K, go for it. But for me, this was good enough. But this was really good, and like I said, this is from the good old days of Shout Factory when they really would put a lot of effort into their special features. And even though this is an older release, I really enjoy it. And then there's my phone again. um, who would be texting me this early? Um, it might be Walmart notifying me of something being delivered today. They do that, and they usually do it pretty early. But here is a 4K Shout Factory release for The Faculty. Now there is some extras on here, but not too many. Uh, there's no special features on the 4K, although it is a 4K scan um, of the original camera negative. And there's a couple of interviews uh, on the Blu-ray that's included, and the Blu-ray also has a 4K scan, but the special features are a bit lacking on this, but the 4K looks really good. I got this because I really like this movie, and I don't typically like the movies from this era. Like, well, Halloween H2O makes a good double feature with this. They're very similar. That's why H2O does not feel like a Halloween film. But for some reason, that tone with this movie really works because this isn't trying to be a Halloween movie. It's just its own thing. And for some reason, I've always really enjoyed this movie. Call it a guilty pleasure or whatever. But Robert Patrick's in it. and there's a bunch of other actors that are in it. That some of them weren't famous yet, but they are now. And I've always liked this movie for some reason. So, and then I have one more DVD to show you here. This doesn't have a Blu-ray or a 4K, and again, even the DVD for this, I'm perfectly happy with it. And that's I'm a fan of Danielle Harris, and I recently discovered this movie, Inoperable. She gets into a car wreck. She ends up in a hospital, and then it gets into some really weird, almost like time warp territory where it's like a horror movie version of like Groundhog's Day. She gets she's in the hospital, and then she gets to a certain point, and then she goes to sleep or she blacks out, and then she ends up back where she started right before the car wreck, and then has to repeat this stuff over and over and over, and it goes on and on and on. And she can do things differently each time, but no matter what, she always starts over. So you're wondering, is it like a Groundhog's Day type thing? It's a horror movie. There's some freaky stuff that happens, and no matter what, she can't get out of this hospital. So and there's a big twist ending that I'm not going to give away, because if you haven't seen this movie, I don't want to spoil it for you. Just know it's a good movie. Is it the greatest movie she's ever done? No. But if you're a fan of Danielle Harris, this is a really interesting movie, especially if you like movies that are kind of mysterious, where you have to try to figure out what's really going on here. It's pretty good. So check that out if you're a fan of Danielle Harris. So, the as far as movies, I have two box sets to show. Now, I'll show this one first. I bought this a few months back. I can't remember if I showed this in a video or not, and I'm too lazy to go back and look to see if I did. So I'll just show it here, and if I already showed it, well, I'm showing it again. And that would be the Hell House LLC, the complete collection, which contains 4 movies. I know there's 3 cases, but one of these cases has 2 movies in it. And this is from Umbrella. It's region free, and I'd say out of the 4 movies, the first one and the fourth one are really, really good. The second and third one, they're decent at best. They're kind of good, but the real meat and potatoes is the first movie and the fourth one. So that would be Hell House LLC is the first one, and then the fourth movie is called Hell House LLC Origins: The Carmichael Manor. The Carmichael Manor, the fourth one, that one, ooh, it might even be a little bit better than the first one, even. But the first one and the fourth one, those are the best. So there's that. Like I said, I bought that several months ago, but I'm definitely going to be watching those here in the next few days. And then this is a new release. Everybody's talking about this one, so this won't surprise you. But I got the Nightmare on Elm Street 7-film collection, the 4K set. Uh, I don't usually keep slipcovers, but I'll make an exception for this. And I thought this was cool that the 4K case is red. So I thought that was pretty neat. Let's see here. And so I'll put that back. Now there is let me put this down. Um, Another version of that set that costs a, a massive amount of money, hundreds of dollars. I was not about to get that set. The only difference between this standard set and the other one, the more expensive one, is that the other one was a steelbook set. All 7 movies are on separate discs, and each movie is in its own case, which is a steelbook. So you get 7 steelbooks in a outer metal shell with padding between each one. All you're paying extra for. I get it. Some people like steelbooks. I like a few of those too. I'm not the biggest fan of steelbooks, but I've seen some really nice ones. My friend Lori has sent me a few that were really nice, and I enjoy those. Thank you for those, by the way. But um, but I don't typically gravitate towards steelbooks, especially if there's a standard release in a regular case, because the steelbook versions of these movies are so much more expensive, and really all you're paying for extra on those is the steelbook packaging. The special features are the same. The discs are exactly the same. It's just these didn't come in a steelbook. It came in one of these. And my shelf space is very limited, so I'd rather have this than the steelbook set. The steelbook set is like from this end of the case to like here. Um, but this takes up a lot less space on the shelf, so I'll stick with this. And I really enjoyed that set. Now I'll be the first one to tell you, I haven't watched the movies yet, but I've heard that they look really good, and I'm looking forward to checking those out soon. But um, I'm not interested in the steelbook set version of those. So um, now I'll get into showing you these. Um, Not movies, but they're horror related. This is the um, official novelization of Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, but in the novelization they just call it Halloween 4. This is the Ultimate Edition, authorized, like it says, from, it was written by Nicholas Grabowski, and I have actually read this book. I love Halloween 4. I really like Halloween 5, but there is no novelization for Halloween 5 that I know of. But I actually read this book, and this book, for me, maybe not for others, but for me, this book was so good that I read this book cover to cover in like 3 or 4 days. I really enjoyed it. And in case you're wondering, I will look and I will tell you. There are, including the About the Author section, this book has a total of 224 pages. So I really enjoyed that book. And keeping with the Halloween tradition, who remembers this from their childhood? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by what's that's collected from folklore and retold by Alvin Schwartz. Drawings or illustrations by Stephen Gammell. And this isn't the version of this book that I hoped it would be. I remember getting this from the school library when I was in elementary, and I remember the books at the library being much larger than this is. This is just a mass paperback, but I'm still happy to have it, and I read it already. and some of those are still scary, even as an adult now. Some of those are still really creepy. They did a re-release of these books but they're like a watered down version. The stories are still the same, but the illustrations are not as scary anymore. They changed them. They watered them down. I wanted the books with the original illustrations, and that's what these have. Um, and then here is the Scary Stories to Tell. Scary Stories 3. More Tales to Chill Your Bones. Again, this is a mass paperback, but it has the original illustrations, and I forgot to grab it, but I do have more Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is a larger. It's a paperback like those other two, but it's a much bigger sized version of that book. And the print inside is bigger. It's easier to read. And it's called the Harper Trophy edition. So if you can get the Harper Trophy edition of all three of those books, you'll get the bigger paperback versions, which are very similar to the ones that I used to rent out from the library in elementary school. And I'll show that in just a second. But I also, because I'm such a fan, got this. This is the hardcover version, and it actually has the dust cover, and it's in remarkably good shape. This is Scary Stories Treasury. That's just one of the that's the cover, but that's one of the illustrations from the book. See how scary looking that is? This has the original illustrations in it, and you can see how big this book is. It's huge. It's pretty good size. Like I said, it's a hardcover, and this is it's a collection of all three of those books I was just talking about. It's all in one. So here's the first one. The second one, which I have in the other room, but the paperback of this I have has a different cover than that. And then there's the third one. But all three of these are in this. And really good book. Um, they're scary, but they're not too scary. They're really fun. And I also got another book that was a massive part of my childhood. This version's got a little water damage on it. Looks like someone spilled some tea on it at some point. But it's still readable. Um, and there's some handwriting in there to the previous owner. But this book came out, I want to say, sometime in the early 80s. I'm going to cover up the name for privacy, but this is a used copy. They put their name. Why did they do that? In two places, so I'll cover it up. But Bony Legs. I remember reading the. I got this book as a child. I don't know what happened to the copy that I had, but I remember having this book. I got it out of the Scholastic book catalog. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s like I did, you were probably in elementary school around the same time as me. And if you were, you remember ordering books out of the Scholastic book catalog when you were in school. You remember having book fairs at school. You could buy books at the book fair at school. They would usually have those in the auditorium. And then if there was a book that you wanted that they didn't have at the book fair, that's when they would give you the Scholastic book catalog, and you could actually order books out of the catalog, and they would ship them to you in your name to school, and that's where you would get your books, and then you could take them home. Well, I remember this book. I remember ordering this out of that Scholastic catalog. And this book is by Joanna Cole with pictures by Dirk Zimmer. And I remember loving this book. I paid $10 for this used copy, and like I said, it's a little beat up. I wish it was in better shape, but that's okay. I can live with it. But this book is out of print now, and it goes for really expensive prices. I guess because it's beat up, that's why I got such a good deal on it. But just to show you, back in the day, it says on the spine here, Scholastic, and then it says $3.99 US, which is basically $4, and $4.99 or $5 Canadian. So this book, when it was not out of print, when this book was in mass production, you could get this pretty cheap. And I remember this book when I was a kid. This book used to scare me big time. But even as a kid, I was a fan of spooky, scary little books. So I guess I was destined to like scary movies and things like that. But anyway, those are the books I got, movies, TV shows, and everything. And I kind of showed this in my previous video already, but I'll show it again here. We have the They Live soundtrack. This is the expanded original motion picture soundtrack, the 20th anniversary edition. John Carpenter's They Live, music composed and performed by John Carpenter and Alan Howarth. So you know this is a good soundtrack. And this is the expanded soundtrack. So there's what the back looks like. Wait a minute. If you want to pause, you can see what the track listings are. But that's a great soundtrack. And then, unfortunately, I got this, and I liked the tracks on it, but but the CD would skip. So it had something wrong with it. I even put it in a different CD player, and the same thing happened. This is a brand new copy. I even looked at the back of the disc. There's no scratches, so something went wrong with it in the manufacturing process. But if you can get a good copy of this, there are some great tracks on here, and that is the greatest science fiction hits, volume 5. And it's got the Back to the Future theme, Mission Impossible. I'm not going to read off all these, but I'll tell you, there's 18 tracks on here total, but it's also got the Tales from the Crypt theme, the Halloween theme, Mars Attacks, the theme from the X-Men animated series from the 1990s. That was my favorite version of the X-Men. I grew up watching that cartoon. War of the Worlds, Mystery Science Theater 3000, Lost World Medley, which has that's like the Jurassic Park stuff, and then V for Vendetta and a few others. But like I said, this disc had something wrong with it. The tracks were skipping. But if you can get a good copy of this, though, it's got some really good tracks on there. And there's a couple of things that I ordered, but they haven't arrived yet. So instead of doing a whole nother video, I'll just tell you what I got that isn't here yet. I ordered the 4K limited edition Arrow Video release of the movie Spawn. I've heard that it looks pretty good, but it hasn't gotten here yet. I have the standard Blu-ray of that movie, but I know Spawn. Some people say, "Oh, that movie's not that great. It's kind of cheesy," but it's a guilty pleasure movie for me. So anyway, that's coming. And then I also ordered two other books, the novelizations for Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. Can't wait to read those. And then I also ordered another soundtrack, the original motion picture soundtrack for Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Again, a lot of people hate that movie, but for me, that's my favorite Friday the 13th. I make no apologies for that. I love that movie. I like some of the other movies in the franchise too. I love Friday the 13th. But Jason Takes Manhattan is my favorite movie. And so I got the soundtrack for that coming as well. But other than that, that's it for this video. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And take care of yourselves. Have fun. Be safe out there. Enjoy the rest of October. Enjoy. Have a great Halloween. A fun and a safe Halloween. And I will catch you guys on the next video. And also, happy spooky season. Thanks.